Hi everyone. Today we're going to be going through lesson 5.7. So this is lesson 5.7 and it will be on esters and esterification reactions. So we're going to use what we know about carboxylic acids and alcohols to now talk about esters. Now, esters are formed from the reaction between a carboxylic acid and an alcohol. And in your notes here, you've got this. So this, remember, R is just a hydrocarbon chain. So this is our carboxylic acid plus, and now we're going to draw our alcohol, and I'm going to draw the alcohol backwards here, so how we're used to seeing it. But you all know that these molecules exist in real life, so they can go up and down, and whoops, sorry, hold on, and spin around, all kinds of stuff. So if we've got our alcohol here, so that R again is just a part of a chain, they're going to combine to form an ester. Now I'm just going to use switch colors here and show you what happens. So what ends up happening when these things react, again, we've got the carboxylic acid, so I'm just going to write that down. And we've got an alcohol. So when they combine, what ends up happening is you're going to take the OH from here and the H from here. So the OH comes from the carboxylic acid, the single hydrogen comes from the alcohol, and when you put OH and H together, hopefully you'll figure out that you get water. So you're basically going to lift water out of these two things, and then this carbon is going to hook up to that oxygen, okay? So this is what's called the ester. So I'm just gonna recopy, so what I did there was I just recopied that, and then I'm going to connect it, like I said, to that oxygen, and then the rest of it here. So this is the ester, and then I can't forget though, I have to have my water here plus H2O. So that is what's known as an esterification reaction, or you could also call it a hydrolysis equation, or reaction, I should say. So we're taking water out of it, and we're combining the carboxylic acid and the alcohol. So hydrolysis reaction, again, this is the esterification reaction, so synthesis of a new substance by the removal of water. So the oxygen that remains in the ester came from the alcohol, and we saw that here. The oxygen that remains is this one here. So that oxygen is that one there. And whoops, the oxygen in the water comes from the acid. So, where am I looking here? The oxygen, yeah, so the water, the oxygen in the water came from the carboxylic acid there. So you can see where there's a going. So make sure you know that and understand the difference there. Okay, now we're going to just work through an example here. So you have this one already in your notes written there, so we'll just put it out here for you again. So ethanoic acid plus methanol. So I'm going to just draw them here. So ethanoic is 2, right? So eth. So ethanoic acid. I've got 2 carbons there, plus methanol. Methanol would be 1 carbon, so I'm going to draw it backwards here, my OH backwards. So that's my methanol, and I'm going to do that just so I can, again, clearly show you that we're going to take those 2 things out to make water, and then this one's going to hook up here. So the resulting ester is going to be CH3, C double bond O, and now it's going to connect to the oxygen, right, this oxygen here, and then CH3, and we can't forget the water. People often forget the water in the esterification reaction. Now, this is the ester. The whole thing is the esterification reaction. So understand the difference there. The ester is the single molecule here, okay? So this is the ester. The whole thing is the esterification reaction. So make sure you understand the difference there. Now, when we name that, so the first one here, we have ethanoic acid, of course. So I'm going to switch colors. So we've got ethanoic acid, we have methanol, and when we go to name that ester, how it works is you name the part from the alcohol first. So this is going to be called methyl, and then you take the carboxylic acid part, which was ethanoic acid, and instead of ethanoic, you call it ethanoate. So this is methyl ethanoate would be the name of this particular ester. Now, like I just said, the alcohol name is given first. You name it as a radical, and then you name the acid part, dropping the ic and replacing with ate. Okay, so let's go through some examples here. So we've got propanoic acid plus ethanol. So if we look here, propanoic, that's going to be 3 carbons. So CH3, CH2, C, double bond O, single bond OH, and then plus ethanol, so 2 carbons in the chain here. Okay, so now, again, I'm going to take these out, and I like to circle mine every time just to really be clear and make sure that I don't make any silly mistakes here. And then you're just going to recopy the part of the carboxylic acid, and you're going to hook it up, oops, I went too far, to there. And then CH2, CH3 plus water. Now, again, this whole entire thing is called the esterification reaction, but we're going to name the ester here. And the ester, I'm going to name this part first, so that's going to be called ethyl. And then I name the second part here. Instead of propanoic, I'm going to call it propanoate. So ethyl propanoate is the name of that particular ester. Now these aren't in your notes, but I'm going to just do a couple extra here. So draw the following. So you could be asked just to draw part of it, but so you don't always have to do the whole reaction, right? So butyl methanoate. So right away, I'm going to start with this part. So methanoate, that's 1 carbon, right? So 1 carbon. And then that's going to hook up to the alcohol, the oxygen that was from the alcohol. And then butyl is 4, right? So it's going to be CH2, 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 CH3. So butyl methanoate, okay? So that's where that came from. You'll get used to these. It feels a little awkward initially, because you're kind of naming the last part of the molecule first, right? Also be aware that they can be written like this. Now, we're used to seeing, like if we had written, CH3COOH, that would be our ethanoic acid, right? But if that is a CH in 3 instead of the H. Now we've got an ester, okay? So when you see these, sometimes this gets confusing to people, so just always redraw it into something that maybe you're more familiar with. So I just redrew this molecule here, and it's a little easier to see here because now I can clearly see that this is methyl, and then I've got 2 here, so this is methyl ethanoate. Oops. Okay, and so you'll just want to practice with that. So now you can finish up worksheet number 4. You've done the first 2 parts. You can finish it up worksheet 3, and you can also add worksheet number 5 to that as well. And the answer keys will be posted. Thanks, everyone.